You already know what a shark looks like. Triangular fin, rows of teeth, maybe a hammerhead if you want to get exotic. But those are the shallow water models. Drop below 1,000 feet, and sharks stop looking like anything you recognize. There is one with a tail longer than its own body that it cracks like a whip. One with a jaw that shoots forward out of its skull. One species has been alive since before the invention of the telescope. Swimming under Arctic ice with polar bear remains in its stomach. The deeper you go, the less these animals resemble sharks at all, and the deepest ones barely resemble animals. So picture a coral reef, somewhere warm, the kind of clear turquoise water that shows up in vacation ads. This is where the sharks you know live. Blacktip reef, sharks cruising the shallows. Gray reef sharks patrolling the drop-off. Bull sharks pushing into brackish river mouths. You've seen these on nature specials 100 times. They're fast, they're muscular, they hunt the way you expect a predator to hunt, chasing things down, biting them and moving on. Even the hammerhead, which looks strange until you learn why it's shaped that way, is still doing familiar shark things. That wide flat head is a sensory platform. It swings its head across the sand like a metal detector, picking up the electrical signals of stingrays buried underneath. Weird looking, sure, but mechanically it makes sense. It's a shark that evolved better radar. Everything in this zone is recognizable. These are apex predators and they behave like it. The water is bright, the oxygen is high, the food is plentiful, and the sharks are built for speed. Below about 600 feet, all of that starts to change. Sunlight fades, temperature drops, and the pressure starts to build. And the sharks that live down here have had to solve completely different problems than the ones on the reef. The first animal you'd meet on the way down, somewhere around 500 to 1,000 feet, is the common thresher shark. From the front it looks like a normal open ocean shark, sleek and fast, big dark eyes. Then you see the tail. The upper lobe of a thresher's tail fin is as long as the rest of its entire body. On a 10-foot thresher, that tail adds another 10 feet. It looks like someone designed a shark and then accidentally duplicated the back half. That tail is not decorative. In 2013, researchers captured underwater footage of threshers hunting sardine schools near Pescador Island in the Philippines, and what they recorded was extraordinary. The thresher accelerates toward the school, then whips that enormous tail overhead in an arc so fast the tip breaks 300 miles per hour in relative water speed. The shockwave stuns or kills multiple fish at once. It is not ramming them. It is not biting them. It is cracking a biological bullwhip through a cloud of sardines and then circling back to eat the ones that stopped moving. No other shark hunts like this. The thresher traded jaw power for tail power, and the result is a predator that kills with a limb most sharks barely use. Drop another 1,000 feet, and you leave the twilight zone entirely. Below about 3,300 feet is the midnight zone. True deep ocean, zero sunlight, near freezing water, crushing pressure. The sharks down here look like they were designed by someone who had never seen a shallow water shark and was working from a vague description. The goblin shark lives at these depths, along continental shelves and submarine canyons, rarely seen alive by humans. It is a soft, pinkish animal with a long, flat snout that sticks out above its head like a blade. Under that snout is a set of jaws that do not stay in place. When prey gets close, the goblin shark fires its jaws forward out of its skull on a set of elastic ligaments. The whole jaw assembly shoots outward several inches, grabs the fish or squid, and snaps back. It's called protrusible jaw extension, and it happens so fast that the prey has no reaction time. The goblin shark doesn't chase anything. It drifts through the darkness, picks up electrical signals through that long snout, and then launches its mouth at whatever it detects. A slow, soft, pink ambush predator with a spring-loaded face. It looks alien because it lives in a world that has more in common with outer space than with a coral reef. But the goblin shark still looks like a shark if you squint. The frilled shark does not. The frilled shark lives between 2,000 and 5,000 feet down, and it is one of the oldest shark lineages still alive. Its body plan has remained nearly unchanged, based on the fossil record, for close to 300 million years, which means this animal was already swimming in roughly this shape before dinosaurs existed. It has 6 gill slits on each side instead of the 5 that almost every other shark carries. Its body is long and eel-like, more snake than shark, with a wide flat head and a mouth that opens at the front of its face rather than underneath. Inside that mouth sit roughly 300 teeth arranged in about 25 backward angling rows, each tooth shaped like a small trident. Those teeth are not built for crushing or slicing, they're built for gripping. Once something enters that mouth, it cannot pull itself free. The frilled shark swallows its prey whole, and the entire jaw is designed to prevent escape in any direction. It moves slowly through the deep water, probably ambushing squid and smaller fish in the darkness. Very few have ever been filmed alive. When they are brought to the surface, they die quickly, because they are so precisely adapted to deep ocean pressure that shallow water is lethal to them. You are looking at a creature that solved the problem of survival 300 million years ago and has had no reason to change since. If you're finding this interesting, there are more deep ocean stories on the channel, so stick around after this. In the same depth range lives the blunt-nosed sixgill shark, another species carrying 6 gills instead of 5. But unlike the frilled shark, the sixgill is enormous. Adults regularly reach 15 feet, and some have been measured at over 18. It is one of the largest sharks in the deep ocean, built heavy and slow with a broad flat head and small fluorescent green eyes. During the day it stays deep, sometimes below 6,000 feet. At night it migrates vertically toward shallower water to feed, a round trip of thousands of feet that it makes routinely. Researchers using deep-sea submersibles have observed sixgills at depth, and what they found was an animal that moves with almost no wasted energy, gliding through the dark like a slow submarine. It eats everything: fish, other sharks, seals, crabs, squid, and carrion that sinks from the surface. A deep-sea generalist, ancient and enormous, patient enough to eat whatever the ocean drops in front of it. Now, at the very bottom of this descent, swimming under Arctic ice in water just above freezing, you find the Greenland shark. This is the one from the hook with the polar bear in its stomach, and it is arguably the strangest of all of them, not because of how it looks, but because of how long it lives. In 2016, a research team led by marine biologist Julius Nielsen published a study in the journal Science that used radiocarbon dating on the eye lenses of 28 Greenland sharks. Eye lens tissue forms during embryonic development and never regenerates, which makes it a built-in timestamp. Their findings place the oldest individual in the sample at somewhere between 272 and 512 years old, with the most probable estimate around 392 years. That means this shark was likely born during the 1600s. It was alive before Isaac Newton published his laws of motion. It was swimming under the ice before the United States existed. The Greenland shark grows less than half an inch per year. It does not reach sexual maturity until it is roughly 150 years old. It moves at about 1 mile per hour, one of the slowest sharks ever recorded. Nearly every adult is blind, because a parasitic copepod called Omatocoita elongata attaches to the cornea and destroys the shark's vision over time. A blind, slow, ancient predator cruising under the ice in permanent darkness, somehow still catching seals and fish, and occasionally scavenging the carcasses of large mammals, including at least one confirmed case of polar bear remains found in a Greenland shark's stomach. No other vertebrate lives this long. Some deep-sea corals and a few species of clam exceed these ages, but among animals with a backbone, the Greenland shark has no rival. It outlives everything. So step back and look at what this descent produced. Start with reef sharks built for speed and bright water. Drop down and find the thresher cracking a living whip. Deeper, the goblin shark launching its jaw from its skull. Deeper still, the frilled shark, unchanged for 300 million years, gripping prey in trident-shaped teeth. The sixgill, enormous and ancient, commuting vertically through the dark. And finally the Greenland shark, functionally blind, born before the telescope was invented, still alive under polar ice. The pattern is consistent. The deeper you go, the slower things move, the weirder they get, and the longer they live. Sunlight leaves, and so do the rules. Down there, evolution stopped rewarding speed and started rewarding patience, pressure tolerance, and energy conservation. The result is a set of animals that share a name with reef sharks, but almost nothing else. You know the shark fin cutting through the surface. What you probably don't know is what's underneath it, and how far down it goes. If you enjoyed this, there are more stories like this on the channel. See you in the next one.